Welcome everyone to the show. I'm your host Don Vic. This is the show where you find new talent, new faces, and new stars all the time. So make sure you share, shake, and sharing this camera. Y'all already know the vibes. Want to thank everybody that tunes in and watch the show from all over the world. Big shout out to Africa, Ghana. You already know the vibes. Love you guys out in Africa. Keep doing what you're doing. And just coming up here for updates and talk a little bit with you guys. What's going on around the world. So tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. I have a great guest coming on the show. He he was a wrestler, and now he's a Western and horror film actor by the name of Donnie Brown. He'll be coming on the show tomorrow at 7 p.m. So please tune in and watch the show because he is amazing. We're going to find out what Donnie's all about and what he's doing. Okay? So people tune in. Hey, what's up, beautiful? Thank you for logging in. What is the vibes? Stacks, what's up, baby? Love you, kid. You know the vibes. Always fresh. You know how I do. So, big shout out to TKN. They'll be on tomorrow, 8 p.m. My man Avi Klein and my girl Truly Judy. They'll be on tomorrow night with another debate. They'll be having great stars on their platform for debates from all over the world. Make sure you guys tune in and show them the love. You already know the vibes. And again, anyone in New York just looking for a great pastry, look out my girl Sugar Shack Bronx in New York. And you can get all the pastry you want. Also, if you're looking for property or you want to sell property, I got the person that you need, the real estate agent you need to do so. My girl, Jadida Rodriguez. Okay, so big shout out to her as well. Okay, and big shout out to everybody out there that's doing things. You know what I mean? Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the vibes. Nah, man, no day today, son. No day today. You feel me? I just stay fresh. You feel? You feel the vibes? So big shout out to, my kids and my family. First of all, you know what I'm saying? I can't live without my family, you know the vibes. And lately, folks, I've been feeling kind of down, a little down because of everything that's happening around the world. And I know a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but I like to talk about it, because someone needs to talk about it. And there's other people, other platforms that are talking about it, but we need to make this go viral worldwide because people need to know what's going on in the world. A lot of people are sleeping. A lot of people are laying back thinking it's not coming to affect them. Listen, it's going to affect everyone. Okay, because these people are not just after certain people, they're after everybody. So if you're thinking that it's not going to affect you, then think again. Okay, and I'm saying this because today, and I told this to a couple of my friends, and they didn't quite believe me till they saw it for themselves. So today, one of my friends went shopping to Stop and Shop, and he noticed that the refrigerators, they got new refrigerators where they got all the meats. And the refrigerators got locks. They're not activated yet, but they got locks, and he noticed them. He noticed the locks. So he calls me. He goes, "Hey, Vic, I was at Stop and Shop. He's all over the place. He's like, Vic, I went to Stop and Shop, and what you was telling me, man, is true. I seen that. I said, I told you so. You got to pay more attention to what's going on in the world." So he texts me and he sends me a picture of the refrigerators where they got the meats, and the glass is thick, it's a thick glass, folks. And he's like, wow, they got locks on them. I said, are they activated? Yeah, he goes, no, they're not activated, but they do have. You can tell they got like locks on it, and I said to him, well, we need to prepare for what's coming. So those locks are definitely there to lock the meats, and you cannot open those doors unless you have the mark. Unless you have a chip on them doors ain't gonna open. So, folks, this is already here in the United States. They're moving into the big companies like Stop and Shop, Shaw's, Whole Foods, like that, slowly, store by store. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if you haven't noticed, you need to, pay more attention on what's going on. These people are really going to try to lock us down, and if you don't have the mark, you won't be able to shop. You know what I'm saying? So this is really getting serious, folks, and I just wanted to come in here and tell you that because, I care about people. I care about people and I care about my family. I got kids, I got grandkids, and if we can't get access to food because we don't have the chip or the mark, we're going to have to find another way of getting supplies for our families, because at this point right now, it's not even about me. It's about my kids and my grandkids. You feel me? I got to make sure they're okay. So I do whatever I have to provide. Okay, no matter what it takes, I'm willing to put that. I'm willing to put my life in front for my children's. You know what I'm saying? For my kids and my grandkids. You know what I mean? So they're pushing this agenda. They're also pushing the agenda for the vaccine, another strain of virus that they planning on pushing out in September or November. And folks, let me just say this. I know a lot of you guys got kids and you're afraid your kids get sick, but that's the agenda, is to get you afraid so you can comply. And we seen what happened on the first one. A lot of people did die. A lot of people did die. I'm not going to sit here and say they didn't. But are we going to sit here and comply with these people when they're trying to push this major agenda to lock us down, to keep us down as slaves, tell us how to think, how to eat, what to buy, not to buy, when to move, not to move? I don't want to live that way. I sure don't want to live that way, and I damn sure don't want my kids living that way. So whatever I have to do, I'm gonna do. And this is just my opinion. I'm just talking about me. I'm not, you guys decide what y'all gonna do, what side you're gonna play in, and I hope you picking the right side. I was watching the new the TikTok, and I seen that they locked up Donald Trump and one of his lawyers. That's a problem. Andy, how you doing, my queen, my beautiful queen? What's up? Yeah, serious conversation, T. This is a serious conversation. Amanda, how you doing? Thank you for logging in. What's up, cuz? Oh, the genius is in the building. What's up, baby boy? Love you, man. So and I want you guys to interact with me. I want you guys to engage with this because this is a serious issue that I'm talking about. And I'm not a genius. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. And I don't know everything. But what I do know is what I see. And it doesn't take a blind man to see it. We see what's happening in Hawaii. We see what's happening in Texas. We see what's happening in California, Oregon. it just keep on piling up. It just keep on piling. So my question is this: when are we going to stand up? That's the question. When are we going to stand up and unite as people? Right? And I say it again: this is not about race. This is not about none of that. This is about humanity. This is about the people. And I say this because I care about people. And when I saw all that happening in Canada, and I felt that, because that could have been one of you guys that I know. It could be one of my family members, and that hurts, right? So I need to spread this word out because it's necessary. Okay, it's necessary. Everything in the Bible is starting to show, and if people don't see that, then I don't know what you guys are looking at. And if you're afraid to speak the truth, then I don't know what to tell you, because I'm gonna tell you one thing: ain't nobody gonna silence me from telling the truth unless I die or I get killed, one of the two. Okay, and I'm willing to do both for my family and for the people. Okay, because if Jesus did it for us, then we shouldn't even hesitate to do it for our people. Okay, and folks, it's sad, and I've been down. I just took a picture, a selfie, and I posted it up, and one person right away noticed. Debbie Wallace knew that I wasn't myself. She asked me, was I okay? I said, yeah, I'm better now. But when I took that picture, I wasn't okay because things were running through my mind, you know, of everything that's going on. Because you got to stop and think this, folks. If you're not willing to take the chip, which I suggest you don't, we got to think of a game plan A or plan. No, they got plan A. We got to come up with plan B. How are we going to beat this, and how are we going to find a way? I came up with a couple of ideas, but I don't want to say it here because I don't want to give them a heads up. Okay. But I got a couple of ideas on how we can, go to plan B if we can't get to meats and water. I'm just going to say this: survival training. Okay. Let's just put it like that. And there's other ways of getting meat. You know what I mean? So let that marinate for a second. Okay. And, folks, so I'm getting a lot of people hit me. Right, T Bone, you're right. We have to. We are the power. We are the without us, there won't be nothing. If none of us go to work, if the world says tomorrow nobody's working, how are these people going to make money? How are they going to um, get taxes and any of that? If nobody's working, they can't. It's going to collapse because they need us to work. They need us to work so they can tax us and use that money for the stuff that they're doing. You know what I mean? Um, so they need our tax money and they need our monies in the banks, because when you leaving your money in the bank, they take your money and they give it to the next person, right? And then they tax them on it, for 21%. So they making profit out your money while your money's sitting there, right? And then you're not even getting a percentage of the profit that they're making off your money sitting there. So, or they don't even have the consent from you to say, okay, I'm gonna put these $10,000 in the bank, and I'm giving you permission to take 9,000 and give it to the next person that needs $9,000 loan, and then you tax them on that, and you make the profit while I'm thinking my money's still there in the bank. Okay, this is how these people work. Okay, so not just me, they're using everybody's money. They just moving money around and making profit without your consent. Okay, and they making the profit and you ain't making nothing, maybe 1%. Okay, crooks. Okay, now folks, and these are things that we need to talk about because we need to find a way how to beat these people. Okay, and any idea that anyone has, feel free to post it up. Do I want to see something really crazy? Crazier than what we already got, cuz? And listen, I guess so. You want to share it? Fine. Because people need to know, man. And I want you people to wake up. Please, people, wake up. I'm just one person trying to give you guys the message. There's plenty of people, there's plenty of platforms out there doing it. But me as a talk show host and a person that cares about people and a person of God, I want my people to be alert, be ready, you know what I'm saying, when time comes to stand up, okay? Because it's going to be needed, okay? And again, I'm going to say it again. It's not about race. It's about the people. Humanity, it's about us, okay? Because that what happened in Hawaii should have never happened. That happened in Canada should have never happened, and every other state that's burning in flames right now, okay? And the media's not talking about it. You know what I'm saying? The media's not talking about it. They're talking about Trump right now and other stuff that, that might matter to some people. But the big picture here, the big picture that I'm talking about ain't social media. I don't want to talk about that. Okay? But there is a lot of stuff going on in these burning states and countries that they're not saying. We're getting this information through this social media my platforms. We are the new media, okay? And we're gonna tell you how it is. I ain't reading no script. I'm telling you what I see, okay? I'm telling you what I see, and if I can see it, and I'm a little blind, folks. I'm a little blind, but I still can see it. You guys that got good visions can see it as well. So don't sit there and turn your face to the other side. We need to deal with this. Either now or a little later, we have to deal with it. But we can't wait too late till these people get into place, because then it's going to be harder for us to make any type of moves. I'm on a roll today, boy. I'm hot. What's up, Patrick? Thank you for logging in and listening. Appreciate it. Spread the love, baby. Spread the love, Patrick. To buy too, yeah, cuz. Of course. Thank you. Oh, distractions. They always gave us distraction because, we're living in a state in a world where everything is distractions from the truth. You know, and maybe a lot of us maybe knew about it, but we wasn't in this position that we are right now. Now is a go position. Now we either gonna fight and die for what we believe in, which is our children and our future, or we're gonna sit here and be controlled by these people and FEMA and the rest of these other people. These camps that these FEMA camps that they got there that are empty right now, they not building them just to sit there and look at them and look pretty. There's an agenda with those camps, okay? I'm just saying. We people, my people, wake up and analyze what's going on. Okay, just because it's not happening in your town or in your city right now doesn't mean it's not going to happen. They moving state to state. They're shutting down even state and countries one by one. Okay, till they get off 50 states. So before it comes to ours, we got to prepare ourselves for what's coming. Because let me tell you something. I'm gonna ask you something. Right? I'm gonna ask you. I'm being real. I'm being 100. If tomorrow the stores are closed when you gonna go buy some food and you got children under 13, let's say under 9, and they hungry, they ain't ate in 2 days. Your baby that's 3 years old is crying because they ain't got no milk. What are you gonna do? That's my question to you. What are you going to do? Are you gonna sit there and hear your baby cry and starve and maybe die to death? Or are you gonna man up or girl up, tie your boots tight, and go and do what you gotta do? It's just that simple. And I'm not saying that you're gonna go out there and hurt people, but you gotta go out there and get something to bring back home to the table. Okay? And you're gonna have to go through barriers to get there. Are you willing to go through those barriers? Are you willing to put your life for your children? Because it's gonna come to a point where you're gonna have to. By the way this is going. Okay? I'm getting a lot of comments. I like this conversation. How do we share this? Good question. People spending so much time chasing money when money was never designed to be caught. You attract money. We spend too much time chasing things that are temporary. Good point, T. Good point. We're chasing something that's not even valuable. You know, a life, a life of a child, a life of a woman or one of my brothers is more valuable than money. Okay. And we as the people got to understand that money is just something for you to move around, for you to buy things and keep groceries in your house. It's like he says, temporary. You can never keep money unless you're a billionaire. That your money is getting interest, then then yeah, it's gonna stay. It's not temporary because it's just sitting there. But you still have to spend money because we need every day. We got to eat, we got to drink, we got to drive, we need gas, we got to fly, we got to do this and that. So money has to be moving. Now, the only way to stop money from moving is for everyone in the world to take their money out the banks, stop filing those taxes that they're using to support their agenda and other countries instead of supporting our country. Okay? Come on, folks. I'm just saying. Of course, T. Listen, the media is a puppet to these people, to the elites. The media does whatever they tell them to do. That's what they do. Bottom line, we are, I'm glad you said that because, a lot of people watch the news. They're brainwashed. Okay? We've been brainwashed for years. And the only thing that they have done to us, the people, well, to most of us, by doing what they're doing, is they woke us up. They woke up a lot of us. A lot of us knew about it. We talked about it, and predicted that this was going to happen. Those people were already ahead of their time. But the ones that were sleeping, a lot of them have woke up. So that's the best thing that they did from what they're doing is that they woke up the people. Okay. Now, what are the people we, including me, I already know what I'm going to do, but I don't know what you guys' agenda is. But I know for sure that when stuff hit the fan, if a civil war starts out, I'm in. And I'm in for the people. And whatever we got to do to survive, to put food on T-Bone's table for his kid, for my cousin Joseph, and for Amanda, we're going to go out there and get it. Okay? Because let me tell you, folks, if we go into a civil war, the first people they're going to go after is us, the men, right? They're going to want to lock us up, put us in these FEMA camps. Then they're going to come for the women and our children. And who knows what might happen to the women and our children when we're not in prison, when we're not there to defend them. Okay, this is what I need you guys to think. It's not just they locking down the city, the currency. It's a bigger picture behind all that. It's bigger than what we're looking at. See, we need to. A lot of us need to learn how to expand our mind and see beyond what's going on, see the next step over, so you can prepare yourself for what's coming. Because it's not just lockdown, it's not just the virus, it's not just the banking and what they're trying to do. There is something else behind that, and a lot of us can see what's coming behind that, and a lot of us don't. So this is what I want to bring, this awareness to my beautiful people, my blacks, Latin, my white, my Latinos, my Chinese, my Japanese, everybody, Africans and Israel and people, because people in general, because this is not about color. Okay, this ain't about color. This ain't about race. This is about humanity. And this is what I want people to understand. Oh, it's happening in Hawaii. I'm not Hawaii. It's too bad it's happening to them. And we sit back and turn our face the other way. It affected them. It affects us. Okay, just because it's in Hawaii, that's America. Okay, just because we're not Hawaiian, we should not feel not bad for them. Of course. But these people are going to try everything to stop us from going over there and helping these people, like they stopped this guy from sending supplies over to Hawaii because they wasn't part of FEMA or Blue Cross Blue Shield. Blue Cross and Blue Shield is part of the government. Okay? That's out the way. You see what I'm saying? So they're trying to control everything. And I need you guys to understand that. Yeah, facts. Yeah. What my cousin say? Okay. Yeah, cuz give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring my cousin. I'm gonna bring my cousin in. This is the other this is the Einstein of my family. When I say genius, boy is a genius. Hold on a second, cuz let me let me send you this link. Give me 1 second, folks. Cuz I sent you the link. So whenever you're ready, pop in, baby. So yeah, folks, and right. And good, good point, T-Bone. You know, we didn't use banks. My parents didn't use banks back in the day. I didn't know what a bank was. The only bank I knew was my mom's mattress, and when I opened it, it was a lot of cash. Okay, okay. Um, so this is the thing. That's one way of us hurting the system is by take. But see, to do this, everyone has to do it, not just one state. Every state around has to do this. Every state. At the same time, take the money out the bank before they freeze it. Because that's coming. Don't think for 1 second because you got your money in your bank say, no. Take your money. We all need to do it at the same time or maybe a day after. Everybody goes in there and says, I want my money. I want my money. I want to put it away on somewhere else. We do that, you're gonna see the effect. The effect that we do as a unit. As a unit. Okay? Yes, they do. I was just saying that, T. They get percentage. So if T Bone puts 100,000 in the bank today, tomorrow I come in and I say to the bank, listen, I need 800,000. I mean, I'm sorry, I said 100,000. Uh, yeah, I need 100,000. They're gonna go into his account. They're gonna give me his 100,000 that he just deposited and give it to me, and then charge me 21% on the 100,000 without even without even his consent to sign off on that money to be loaned to me. And then they want to give him, I don't know how many percentage of that 100,000 he's living there. So see, folks, this is how they make their money. So as they getting rich, we just sitting there being poor. Your money's just sitting there. Okay? So this is what we need to understand. How they work. Okay, folks, so I see my cousin. I don't know, I think he's getting ready. Um I love my cousin. Yes, of course, yes, it's man made. We, who else? Who else would make it? If 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 that virus wasn't man made, we all be dead because they wouldn't have control of it. But they got control of it. See, so when you got control of something and you put something out, you can stop it whenever you want. But when you don't got control of something, then you're running around crazy because you don't know, you don't have the hold on a second. You ready, cuz? You don't have the supplies to stop it. So, folks, I'm gonna bring in my cousin Joseph Aker. I'm from Florida. It's my cousin. I love him to death. I'm going to bring him in because he wants something to show us. So please welcome Joseph Aker. Cuz, what's up, baby boy?
What's up? You can see me?
Yeah, yes, I can see you.
How do I'm trying to figure out on my let me go on my Facebook page on my laptop. I'm kind of
Right.
using both. Hold on a second. Let me see something.
Okay. So
Let's see.
folks, this is what's going on, and I need you guys to really wake up and don't even smell the coffee. You got to smell beyond the coffee at this point.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like a little lag. Yeah, I know. It's kind of like a second lag, but we'll try to make it. I guess I'll try to make it work. Can can everybody hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to show you, cuz,
Yeah.
is you're absolutely right. A lot of things have been on your mind. They're they're on your mind for a reason, and there's been a lot of things in my mind too. Everybody's, I was telling people just recently, um, when COVID-19 happened, right? I worked for the VA as a medical support assistant, and they set up vaccination tents. Um, the one here in Tampa, but there might have been others around the country, and there could have been other vaccination centers around the world.
Right.
Okay, so I told guys at work when COVID-19 happened, there were all kinds of snakes that came out of the woodwork, and they're like, "What do you mean snakes?" I'm like, "Yeah, there were snakes in the wilderness. Do you want to see?" So they're like, "Okay, show us, right?"
Mhm.
So Hopefully, I don't know if I can. I'm able to.
Switch.
Yeah, like switch this around. Let me see if I can do it. Okay. I'll try to. Actually, you know what I probably can do is maybe draw it and hold it up to the camera, and maybe
Yeah.
that'll work. But you can picture this in your mind, right? Picture this in your mind. Outside the convention center where the USF Bulls play basketball, they set up a tent, and on each side of the tent they had orange cones. You know
Hmm.
those orange cones?
Yeah, because like construction cones.
Yes, yes. So you avoid hitting each other, and you avoid hitting people, and so on and so forth. They can see where they need to go. Well, on each side of the tent was the body of a snake.
Hmm.
Because the cars were driving like this. They were driving like this. But this is kind of
Like swerving like a snake.
and the tent was the head of the snake,
I get it.
and the shot, the medicine was the snake venom.
Mm.
So no one noticed it at all because for weeks I was saying, hey, because we had a lot of people from India and China come through to get shots, and I kept saying, hey, you're gonna go through this snake, and then you're gonna get bit by the snake, and you're gonna drive out the other end of the snake. And they kept laughing, and it didn't dawn on me for like a couple of weeks that what I was saying was biblical prophecy. You know what biblical prophecy that is?
Mm.
There's a story. I did a video, and I have it on YouTube. I have the exact. Let me see if I can find the exact scripture. It is. It's in the book of Numbers, Numbers chapter 21, verses 4 through 9, and it tells a story of the Israelites. They spoke against God and they spoke against Moses. So God sent fiery serpents to the Israelites, and it killed a couple of thousand. I forgot how many they killed, but those snakes killed a lot of people. So Moses prayed to the Lord, and the Lord said, if you want those people to be healed, he said, make a pole. And when you make the pole, he said, put a brass snake at the top of the pole. And
Mm.
all the people need to do is when they get bit by a snake is to look at that pole, which is the symbol of Jesus, because that happened. I was kind of doing the math a little bit. It's not, it's just, this is just approximate, but it was probably about almost 4,000 years old when that happened. When that happened during the time of Moses, that was about 4,000 years before Jesus came on the scene. So
Mm.
Jesus was lived about 2,023 years ago. So if you think about it, it's probably about 6,000 years ago, or 5,000 years ago, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So when Jesus came on the scene in John chapter 3, I forgot what verses it is, but he tells Nicodemus, and he tells Nicodemus, just as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so shall the Son of Man be lifted up. So if those particular vaccination stations were set up around the country and around the world, just like that, with the cones and the tent in the middle, then that means that was the time of the Son of Man being lifted up.
Mm.
And you know what the crazy thing is there are Nazca lines in Peru. In Peru, they have the Nazca Desert, right?
Mhm.
And in the Nazca Desert, they have what they call the Nazca lines. They're very popular in archaeology. There's these big drawings that were done in the iron oxide of the dirt. Like it was the ancient peoples 2,000 years ago. They made these drawings about 3 to 4 feet deep, and you can't really see them really that great unless you're on a plane. And they
Mm.
have one. They have a lot of them. They have one of a monkey and a whale, and they have one of a hummingbird, a spider, and spirals. I mean, it's awesome. And they even have some where you can see way up in outer space,
Wow.
right? So if you're at these vaccination stations on a helicopter and you're way up in the sky and you're looking down, you're
You see
looking
the
at a
snakes.
snake. And
That's
it's not a snake made of dirt. It's a snake made of light. You know why?
right.
Because if everybody had GPS and they're using the GPS going through the tent, it's making the snake symbol. Just like right now, if you was to leave your house and go to the hospital, because remember, if you're sick and you need an IV, the IV is the shot, the needle is the snake vein, and the medicine is the venom. And from your house is the tail, and the hospital is the head, and you can see the drawing on your phone before you even get there.
Right. So I'm actually swerving my way into the hospital to the snake's head to get the vaccine.
Yep. People are swerving every day and we don't even realize it. And the other thing I noticed too, right? This is the crazy thing. You know why I know people are made of light and this is nothing but God that's has his hand in it?
Right.
Is let me see if I can draw it, right? All right. I'm gonna draw this, right? All right, can you see that?
Wait, no, put it more towards the camera.
Okay.
No, face it like this. Like if you had it, like cover you and put the picture on the camera, like in front of your face.
Oh, okay.
Like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, you can see it like that?
Yeah, if you put it like this in front of the camera, you know what I mean? Like this, you know, I'll be able to see it. We'll be able to see what you drew.
All right, hold on a second. Can you see that?
I see, yeah, I see like
let me see if I can get okay, let me see if I can draw it with something darker. I'll draw with something darker. I have markers here. That way you guys can see it. But this is important. This part is important. All right? And it's gonna make a lot of sense to you really quick. Right? and hopefully this video will go viral because the Lord is about to come soon.
Amen.
I've been holding on to this for a while. I've been kind of nervous and I've been kind of self-isolating myself for a little bit here.
Right.
All right. Maybe this is a little bit better. All right. You see that?
Yeah, I see like lines going up and down like this.
Okay, like waves, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, if you know anything, not a lot of people know, I don't really know a whole lot about science, but, I've been studying a little bit about the electromagnetic spectrum, right?
Yes.
So light travels in waves.
Yes.
So when you're looking at the facility, the vaccination station from up on high, when you're up on high and you see the things going up and down, it's kind of like an electrocardiogram or what they call that
like a heart mammogram.
Earthquakes. Huh?
Yeah. Like a heart when the heart be beating beep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are wavelengths.
Right.
So on the electromagnetic spectrum, we can only see visible light, humans.
Right.
But inside of our body, we emit infrared light. So if we were in the dark and I put on the infrared goggles, I would be able to see you not as skin color, but as bright light, white.
Right.
You would shine white.
Right.
That is how we actually shine. Think about it. Every day, and when you go to sleep and when you get up in the morning, you're actually shining, but we can't see the shine. That's why Jesus said, "Let your light so shine, so that others may see." But he's talking about your good works, your inner self, like the good that's in you. He wants that to come out.
Shine, yeah.
Yeah, so it makes you shine. So that the actions that we have towards one another,
Right.
So when the waves go up and down like that, those are the electric fields of the electromagnetic spectrum. But when you're on the ground and you're looking at the cars going side to side, that's the magnetic field.
Mm.
So the waves going up and down, seeing it from up in the sky on a helicopter looking down at the vaccination station, that's the electric fields. And when you're down on the ground, the cars are going side to side. Those are the magnetic fields.
Mm.
And the microwaves that are going into your cell phone are going in through that thing, is drawing a snake.
Right. Right. And you know what? Cause it's amazing. What what we have to put up with. You know, I've been watching on YouTube about phones. Don't keep them on your ear because of the waves. You can get cancer. Through it. Don't keep them in your pocket because close to your growings.
Hmm.
Because it can cause cancer. Because
Hmm.
it. There are waves. Those are what do they call them?
That's radiation. It's basically
Radiation.
because the cell phone's releasing heat, so it's receiving energy, so it has to give off energy. It's kind of like food.
Like the microwave,
Yeah,
kind of.
like you have a car, in the car you put gas in it, and then it releases a gas, which is the exhaust.
Right.
Well, your cell phone receives the microwaves from the towers, from the 5G towers, and as it sits in your pocket or your car or whatever, it's releasing heat.
Right.
So that heat is not good. It's not good to and just recently I saw an article just the other day that Apple even says it's not good to sleep with your cell phone because it could cause fires
Right.
on your
If you
pillows.
keep them on the bed, if you keep them, because they, you notice the heat when you're charging them, and when you're even like when you're out and the phone is on for so long, you can feel the heat. On the phone, especially when you're talking on it, you can start to feel the heat up. My phone does that, and when I feel it, I put it down. See, I don't never put my phone here. I
Mhm.
usually carry it in my hand, and then or I'll put it down somewhere. Um, I try not to hold it as much. I never put it to my ear. I always put it on speaker when I talk. Um, I really don't put it in my pocket. If I got a jacket, I put it in my jacket pocket. But it's still kind of the same as long as it's close to the body, still doing the same effect. You know.
Mhm.
So so in your opinion,
Mhm.
what you see going on, where you think we're heading?
Well, I think that we're heading to a dark place. The reason being is because you know um in the Bible Jesus says, he says this to his disciples. He says, if the light that enter into the eye be light, how great is that light? Meaning, like, light is not darkness. Light is doing the right things. Is loving people for the good that they do.
Right.
It's knowing what is right and what is wrong. That is light. But we're heading towards darkness. That is the light that people have confused light as darkness and darkness as light. So he said, if that light be darkness that going into your eye, he said, how great is that darkness? Meaning that the darkness is going to grow.
Right.
So if it also says that seek peace with all men, all men, all men. The word all means gay men, straight men, black men, white men, Chinese men, religious men,
Right.
man in jail. You know, he says, seek peace with all men, for without which no man shall see the Lord. So the only way to get back that some of that light is that we have to be at peace with all men. It's difficult because we know that there has been in our country, if you look at statistics, I have there's some statistics out there. I know that they're probably bad. We're the most biggest country as far as weight, drug. usage, energy, um, you know, abuse, child abuse, smuggling, divorce,
Mm,
domestic violence, alcohol abuse, drug. I mean, it's you think about it,
yeah.
like I went to Seattle, and it's so sad because it's a beautiful city, but what marks it as a place that I wouldn't want to go back to is how bad the drugs are, and they're doing it right there in the middle of the street, and that's where we're going to. It's kind of hard to change it because we're not a we're not a single unit.
And they
Meaning,
know,
like,
and they know that.
right, like it's easy to confuse the people because there's so much confusion here. We know it's supposed to be one mind, one heart, one soul. That will one thing I meant to bring up is that thing that I was telling you about those things, the vaccination sites being in
Right.
the form of snakes,
Right.
is that we may not agree on a lot of things, but one thing that we can agree on are shapes.
Right.
If I said a circle's a circle, you're gonna say, yeah, it's a circle, right?
Yeah.
Triangle, same thing. Mathematics, right?
Right.
Those are the things that cannot be broken because they tell the truth.
Right.
So that is what I'm telling you when I showed that to you, and hopefully others will see it, is that is the truth. The Lord, the Son of Man, was lifted up, and he may be lifted up again, because if there's another pandemic and the VA and whoever has to set out the emergency management people have to go out and set up these vaccination stations again, or not even just vaccination stations. It could be a bad hurricane and people got hurt, or they need surgery, right?
Right.
The ambulance is going to come and they're going to put them in a tent, and there's going to be IVs in there.
Right.
That is the Son of Man being lifted up,
Mm.
right? It's and the GPS. Think about it. The boats, planes, trains, cars, people walking on your bike, on a big wheel, whatever. If you have a cell phone, it's being tracked by a cell phone up above.
That's right.
And that's this technology. We think it's brand new, but it's not brand new. It's
It's
been
been
around
around.
for a while.
Right.
Because when you think about the tent and you see how the things that goes up and down, or side to side, that's how football players move on a football field. Because when the players go to catch the ball, right? That's the magnetic field, and the
Right.
ball is the electric field. All those players, the stars, and think about it, stars release electrical energy,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we're doing what King Solomon said. He says there is nothing new under the sun. So everything we're doing down here, it's a copy of what is going on around us in the universe. We
Right.
just have to be very mindful of it, and not a lot of us are.
Right.
'Cause we're so busy and there's so much distraction that it keeps our minds away from God. And the further that we move away from God, the further He's going to move away from us. And there's certain things that's going on, like the reason why there's so much heat. Like right now, that this year there was so much heat,
Yeah.
is because I can show, if only I knew how to use this technology better, I
Yeah.
would show you that there's a picture of the Earth on the equator. There's an actual wall there, an invisible wall. You cannot see it, but they taken pictures over several years of time of hurricanes in both the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. It looks like sheep being held back by a fence,
Mm.
and the hurricanes in the northern hemisphere, they turn clockwise, and the ones in the southern hemisphere, they turn counterclockwise, and they don't pass that wall.
Mm.
Is that wall getting bigger, or is it getting smaller?
Wow. Good question.
Because I cannot see it. If I was sitting here and my job was to monitor that wall, right? Was to monitor it, and I seen a hurricane slip by, that's trouble. That's big trouble.
Mm.
That's what a lot of people don't know.
Right. Mm.
And if you think about it, right, the hurricanes move counterclockwise this way in the
Mm-hmm.
northern hemisphere, and the south they move counterclockwise.
Right.
The two snakes.
Right. That's crazy. That's
Yeah, the two
crazy.
snakes. Yeah, and the wall is the triage center. The earth. The earth. The, I wish I could show you everything I have. I got so much stuff I want to share. It's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
I you know, I've been holding back. I've been kind of like just going to school and kind of just keep myself isolated with my thoughts.
Well, and I mean, it's good because you start to think and you come up with ideas and and information, but it's not good because if you're getting all this information
Hmm.
and you're not able to spread it, then all you're doing it's getting headaches. You know, yeah, you're getting headaches because you're like, gee, I got all this information. Who am I gonna tell it to? You
Yeah.
know, and you need to speak your mind. Whatever you know, you got to put it out there. You know, because like I said, there's a lot of people that are sleeping. And again, I'm not the most intelligent person in the world. You know, and I don't know half of the stuff that you talk about, but it gives me an idea of what you're talking, and then it opens my third eye to see things different. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's always good to express and 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 talk about what you know, because maybe not a lot of people would understand what you're saying, but something might click in their mind and say, wait a minute, he said this, let me look that up, you know, and
And
people start educating themselves.
and this is my point. What you said was magnificent because in the Bible it says this. Jesus says to his disciples in the book of John, he says, "The Holy Spirit shall teach us all things,"
Amen.
right? And will bring back into remembrance everything that I have told you. So
Mm,
everything that I'm teaching you, if I could show you pictures, it would be a lot easier to digest because a lot of
mhm.
people learn with their eyes,
Yes.
and it would soak in, and it would anchor. It would anchor in your mind where the next morning you'll be thinking about it, like, and it'll stay in there for a long time
Right.
because I truly believe that people that the Indians, I'm not sure what they worshipped, but
Right.
it's very close to
What
what
we
we
do.
worship now. There's a lot of similarities. Like there's a lot of things I can show you with the Aztecs.
Yeah.
What the Aztecs did, the Native Americans, and all these things, bro. There's a lot of, like, we're all connected. Everything, there's a lot of connection, and it's like, um, I guess I'm being gifted with making all these connections, kind of putting them together.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah, you are, because you see things that a lot of people don't see. You read the Bible different. You know,
mhm.
when you read see, a regular person that goes to church and reads the Bible will read the Bible, will just read it and obviously understand what the Bible. But you read it, when you read it, you're looking at codes. Not everybody can break read something and see things coded. Where you're like, wait a minute, this is what he trying to really say. So and that's important because you have that gift to see those things. A lot of people can't see that, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why when we spoke last time, I said, "Cuz, do your little documentary thing, put it out there, and feed the people the information, because like I said, a lot of people might not catch up to you because you're a little bit more advanced, but those that are advanced would see it and say, well, this guy knows what he's talking about, and you might have something going on here. But you're also opening eyes to me and other people that are not that advanced in what you know, but will give them an opportunity to want to get into it and want to probably go and look it up, and educate themselves on what you're talking about, you know. So, what you have is a gift. And, I always say it because you're my cousin, you're my first cousin. And you
Hmm.
know that our family are gifted. Your mom, my mom, our grandmoms, we come from a spiritual side, and you have that gift. I have my gift. Joey, Ralphie, and all of them have their gift. Maybe they haven't found their gift yet, but you have. I have. And I think my gift is talking to people, you know, um, and spreading the love to the people, and just connecting, connecting with people, because I do feel certain energy sometimes. I see things ahead of times, but we are very spiritual. We come from that, so we need to share that with the people. And you're, I always say I always clown around and say you're like what's that guy with the white hair, the
I-
scientist,
Einstein.
Einstein. I say you're the Einstein of the family. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But it's always good to put that information out, Joe, because you are talented. You're smart. You do a lot of research, and and you know certain things that certain people you can see certain things that certain people can't see. So
Yeah. Yeah. You're right about that. You're right. Um,
so like the other time we had you on the show, you was explaining how the atmosphere and the world and the planet works. How the cone is
the Lycone.
the light cone, yeah, and then at the bottom was the with the what's it call it, the
Oh, the hypersurface of the present. It's like a four square wall.
right. Not a lot of people know that. So
Well,
you have the gift to explain that, and I wish you had a platform like mine, like where you can really like use this like the backboard and explain your your stuff to the people.
yeah, yeah.
And you can, because you do have a camera, and you could do it. I just don't know how your setup is, but you could do it. You're on my live, so obviously you have the equipment to do it.
Yeah, and it's so funny when you mentioned the Lycones,
Yes.
right? Um, you ever heard that term? The shit's gonna hit the fan. You remember that
Yeah.
term in the movie Airplane?
Yes.
Or that's what's really happening on the Earth. Okay, the Earth is covered by a magnetic field, right?
Hmm.
Now, if for let me simplify this. If somebody was to come and spit in your face, that pretend that person is the sun and you are the earth, right? You
Right.
get that spit and it smears all over your face, right?
Hmm.
That's been happening to the earth a lot lately,
Mm.
right? So because the sun releases what's called solar flares or coronal mass ejection.
I heard of solar flares.
Right, solar flares. But a coronal mass ejection is huge. I was reading this book called Space Weather. You can get it. You can download it free online, and they're as big as 20 million aircraft carriers.
Mm.
Right, they're big. So when it hits the Earth, right, it's shit hitting the fan. It the when the coronal mass ejection hits the Earth, it smears. It looks like the Earth looks like it's surrounded by glass, um a glass how can I say, globe, a circle.
Hmm.
It's like the what we're standing on, what we're living in is like decay because we recycle food.
Right.
Because when animals die, the whole circle of life, like Mufasa teaching Simba in Disney. So humans are recyclers.
Mm.
right? So this energy on the north and the south poles, if you can see, I have a picture where you can see it, and it looks like the energy is swirling down like ice cream.
The aurora, right? That's what you call it.
The aurora, right? The aurora borealis. But
Right.
there's two of them on
Red.
one of the north pole and one of the south, and they swirl down like two snakes.
Yes.
The two snakes I was just telling you about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Okay,
so true. That's so true.
but it looks like poop flushing down the toilet.
Right.
Like if you are into Marvel superhero movies,
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok, when he went into the what they call that, the Einstein Rosen Bridge, they call it the Rainbow Bridge, the Norse gods. So when he was flying through outer space, he broke out of the Rainbow Bridge and landed on this planet called Sakaar. And when he landed on the planet, you can see these auroras. They called it the Great Anus because there were ships and junk that was coming out of
Right.
the Great Anus. That's what the
Right.
aurora borealises are.
Mm.
It's like we're living on poop.
Right. So what's coming down of the
I
aurora?
know, it's crazy.
Yeah. So what's coming down the aurora is it energy?
Yeah, it's plasma energy. They're electrically positively and electrically charged. And when it gets to the auroral oval, you can see the auroral oval in space. From below, you can't see it that good. But
Right.
what's happening is the Earth is emitting gases from the center of the Earth.
Right.
And whatever kind of gas is being emitted, if it's nitrogen, it's blue. It turns red, like all the colors of the rainbow.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
I
You can see
see.
green, purple,
Green.
blue, yellow, yellow.
Yeah.
And when it goes into the cone, right? Can you imagine if it's all yellow? It looks like you're peeing in a cup.
Right.
Or if it's purple, it looks like a martini glass, wine.
Right.
Right? The Bible talks about wine, talks
Yes.
about olive oil. If it's green, then it's like olive oil.
Mm.
If it's white, because it turns white, then it's milk. The cone, it looks like a glass jar.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
I've seen it.
If you picture it in your head, right? And you was there like in Iceland. Let's say you go to Iceland where you can see it pretty good, right? They say you can see the auroras pretty good. And
And
you
and and and, and I'm sorry.
oh, go ahead.
And the North Pole, you can see it too.
Yep, the North Pole.
Yeah.
It's too. It happens in the South Pole too, but it gets too cold down there. You won't be able to see it as well because it's just too freezing.
Right.
So when you see it up in the sky, the cone is sticking out of the earth. You cannot see it, but it's there.
Mm.
It's like a needle being stuck into the earth on both sides of the earth.
Mm.
That's why the story about when Jesus was telling about the rich folks, when he said, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of the needle than it is for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. So light travels in waves, right?
Mhm.
So when you see the waves like this, they look like camel's humps, and the aurora oval is the needle.
Mm.
The Bible is teaching us physics, bro.
Yeah. And that's the part that a lot of people don't know.
They don't get it because I wish I was there. I wish I was with you. I'll tell you a lot. I'll
Yeah,
teach you a
no,
lot of stuff.
I know. And this is why, I always wanted you to have your own show of what you do best, because I can't explain it the way you can, because I'm not educated on that,
Right, right,
to actually explain to people what it is that you're telling me now. I
right.
know it because you told it to me a couple of times,
Hmm.
and I know a little bit of it, so I can put things together. But for people that don't know, they probably lost in the sauce. So,
Right.
so this is why I always said to you, cuz do your own show. You got some stuff, to tell the world that a lot of people don't know. The Bible, we read the Bible as a book, or whatever. You look at it as there's codes there, and and you break it down and you figure it out. You know that it's God and Earth. He's trying to tell us that we all connected. Like everything is connected. And I can't explain it the way you can because you do more research than I do on it.
Yeah, it's I try to simplify, like I was telling you, I was trying to do it very simple, like you can picture it in your head.
Yeah.
Like the sun shoots these coronal mass ejections. If you think about it, if you're driving in your car and somebody was to take a bag of poop, light it on fire, and throw it at your windshield, right? And you have the windshield, both
Rolled up.
windows down,
Well,
right?
okay.
Okay. So when it hits your car windshield, smack, and you're going really fast, and you
It
get poop in
bounce
your
back.
face, huh?
Oh, okay. Usually,
That's
usually when it goes, it you'll probably get some, but it'll bounce right back out.
Yeah, that's what's happening to the earth all the time. The energy is flowing down. It's flowing down like a funnel, and it crashes. Boom. It crashes at the center of Earth, and it makes the Earth spin, which creates a fan.
Right.
This shit hits the fan.
Like that.
Yeah, I'm serious, because that's how it works. I'm the plane. Look. Right? Look, the sun, it hits. If you can imagine your car, like I said, and you're driving, if anybody watching this video, it just makes perfect sense. You're driving in your car, and some little nasty mean kid takes a poop and puts it in a bag, and he lights it on fire, and he throws it at your car as you're going 80, 90 miles, and you have both of your windows open because it's a nice day outside until the kid hits your windshield, and the bag breaks and the poop gets all over your windshield, but then it hits your face, right? That is happening at the center of the earth every single day. The coronal mass ejections is the bag of poop. It flies at so many million miles per hour through space.
And it
At
hits.
the size of 20 million aircraft carriers, it hits the Earth's magnetic field with such magnificent force, right? And the Earth is actually in the shape of a jellyfish. Right. So if you watch this video, how auroras are formed, you can look at it on YouTube. You'll see these tails. They break off, magnetotails. They break off. They collect some of that energy, and it flows back into the north and the south poles, and they create the crowns of the top of the light cones.
The cones, right?
And the energy just flows down on each end, and it hits at the center of the earth, and it goes around and around in circles. That's why we have tornadoes. That's why we have hurricanes. That's why we have this thing in the back of our head that's in
Swirl.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why we have umbilical cords, because we are star people. That comes from the sun.
Right. This is crazy. So my friend Donna's asking, so can I ask, what is all this energy I'm feeling? She says.
That's you being understanding what I'm saying, and the Holy Ghost is trying to pull you in, right? Because the Holy Ghost is okay. My theory is this: that energy that you see coming up from the north and the south poles, that comes from God. It comes from the sun, right? But everything that goes into the sun is coming from above. It's like the universe is created like some sewage system. Right?
Right.
And it goes from star to star, right? So the star collects, and the sun collects energy the same way as the planets do. Every planet has an aurora, even Jupiter, and on top of Saturn, there's a hexagon. If you go into Saturn's North Pole, you can see a picture of it. There's a perfect hexagon. They don't know how it's done, right? But look it up. It's there. So this energy, it swirls down in the center, and it causes a nuclear reaction, an explosion, and those particles, they break apart. They break apart into even smaller pieces.
Right.
And as it's mixing like a food mixer, think about it. The earth is moving like a food mixer. It's whipping all this stuff up.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, and we're getting all these ideas because the earth, the Bible, it says this: speak to the earth and let it teach thee, and the fish of the sea shall declare unto thee. And there's a fish in the ocean, a Japanese fish. It's a puffer fish. You can look at this up on YouTube as well. It makes a nest and the nest is in the shape of a stamped seal.
Oh yeah, we seen that. You showed me that.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
crazy.
yep.
That's
And the fish, see, because what you put on the declaration, a stamped seal.
a stamp seal. Yeah,
Yeah, and the fish does that.
that's
It's a
amazing.
nest. It's a nest, but it makes the seal. And that seal is in the shape of the auroras, the top and the bottom. That's why when you go to churches and you see that circle, like Notre Dame, and you see that circle, that pretty circle that
Yeah,
churches have,
yeah.
that is the aurora. They've been known about this for years.
Mm, bro.
I'm
we
telling you,
we gonna
bro.
have to get classes, cuz we gonna have to get classes. We
No,
gonna have to.
I'm a little angry because there's so much distraction.
Mhm.
You know, there's so much distraction. It's causing people to live in total chaos and fear of one another.
Right.
You know, like when is it gonna stop? You know, like people are like I stay to myself a lot. I stay quiet and I just kind of like, you know, I've done a lot of wrong myself. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not innocent by far.
Right.
You know, I've done a lot of things. I've hurt people. I wish that, you know, there's some things I wish I can take back after the stone was thrown. But
Right.
once the stone is thrown, all you can do is just make it part of the wall and you know, and just
And
men and just
learn from it and be better.
yeah,
You
you
know.
know, exactly. Just like you know, how some people put little stickers on the windshield reminding them to do better every morning,
Right.
you know, like as a motivational thing.
Right.
So we can do things to repair our own walls because we have walls within that need to be broken down.
Right.
But the wall at the center of the earth that I mentioned to you,
Yes.
that wall, if we all subconsciously made an effort to ask the government to have a satellite and see where the pictures are now and see if any of those hurricanes or any, you know, because if those hurricanes pass that wall, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. And the reason why it's getting hotter is because if you think about it, okay, in the summertime, as we as we enter into summer, the reason why we have seasons is because of the Earth's tilt. It's not because of how far the Earth is from the sun. It's because the Earth is on a 23.5-degree axis. Axis, excuse me, tilted 23.5-degree axis. So as the energy swirls down, right, and it's doing this, and it crashes, we're receiving too much of it. I
Mm,
think as I've been paying attention to the news here and there as much as I can, it's like we have a coronal mass ejection coming, and there and some of them are so strong that they developed a system like just like the hurricane system. Like you know how you have Category 5
mhm.
hurricane, which is the strongest, and Category 1, which is
Yep.
the weakest. Well, these coronal mass ejections are the same. I forgot what they're called, but if it goes 1 to 5, can you imagine one stronger than 5?
We'll burn. I mean, we'll melt.
Yeah,
Everybody will go up in fire.
because the thing is doing this, right? So when the energy swirls down in the center of the earth and it collides and it makes the earth spin, it's creating heat
Mm-hmm.
at the center, very, very bad heat.
Right.
Right? So that's and this is another trick. That's where the pyramids are. Right? The
Right.
Egyptian pyramids and those pyramids in Mexico, they're aligned on that energy grid
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Right? I
Yeah.
think they used to pull that energy from the ground.
Mm.
But anyways, right there in in the southern part of the United States, well, especially in Arizona, where in Death Valley, where it got really hot, that energy that is exploding down there in the center of the earth is getting hotter and hotter and hotter because the earth is receiving more and more and more.
Right. And you know, and
That's
with
just a theory. I don't know. I mean, I'm not working for NASA, but something just tells me that when I was looking on the news that we've been receiving a lot of coronal mass ejections.
yeah, yeah, and you know they really don't talk about it as much.
Because they don't want
Thank
us
you,
to
Chief.
know.
Right.
They don't want us to pay attention to that. They want us to pay attention on who's scoring the best touchdowns and and Price is Right, who's winning all these prizes and who's doing this and who's doing that. But yet the fate of our planet is lying in the hands of just a certain few people. And they're staying hush hush about it because they want everyone to think that everything's okay. But yet all our cities are getting flooded. And we're like, what, $32 trillion in debt?
Yeah.
And then we're giving all this money to Ukraine. And then we got all this stuff going on in the news with Donald Trump and all this and that. I don't pay attention to none of that stuff. I don't.
But you know, and I'm sorry, because and you're right. This is why they're building all these underground tunnels, because they know what's coming. That heat comes, they're underground, they safe. Any blast, any war, anything that happens, they're underground. They 50, 60 feet or miles underground where nothing is gonna, supposedly nothing can touch them. But it says in the Bible, everything he will, what is it? It's that phrase. There will be an earthquake that they will all be buried. Some line, something.
You're talking about in Matthew chapter 24 when he talks about the end of the world.
Yeah.
He says, there shall be earthquakes and pestilences in diverse places, meaning famines, earthquakes, and pestilences in diverse places, meaning, we all know famine, people get hungry, and the earthquakes and pestilences, which we just had one, which is the COVID-19, and we don't know what's coming up next. But he said that those were the times of sorrows, meaning that that's kind of like the sign of his coming. But it's going to be a time where if you could see the country, a lot of people are depressed.
Oh yeah.
People lost their jobs, people lost their homes. We're in inflation, and you work a full 40-hour week and your paycheck is gone because gas is sky high and the price of food is sky high, and then everybody's raising rent and you got people homeless, and it's just like ridiculous, one thing after another. This has got to be the work of the devil.
Oh,
and he's in the high places. He's in the government. But you know what God says in Psalm chapter 2? He says that he who sits in the heavens, he laughs at them. He laughs at those rulers because they try to cut their bands and their cords from us.
Right.
But he knows what they're doing. God made hell so much more than the heart of man. He knows our hearts.
Right.
Our head, the hairs of our head are all numbered. Think about it. If every single vaccination spot in the world and in the country can be numbered, right? And the cell phones, because man knows how many cell phones there are that are active.
Right.
Man knows that because obviously they can get all the data from T-Mobile, Apple, whoever,
and from the satellites, they know, how many people are active through satellite. They know what phones are on and what phones are off.
Man is trying to do the same what God has said. The hairs of our head are all numbered, and hair is DNA. And what is DNA? It's a double helix, like a two snakes. How light travels. Your hair is made of light. It's all connected, bro.
Yeah, you're right. 100%. Everything is connected. So those are things that people want to know, and need to know, along with what's going on in our planet right now with these people trying to lock us down and keeping the truth away from us, because they've been doing it for centuries. Now that people are starting to wake up, now they want to shut us down, and they're moving fast. They're trying to move as fast as they can before, that civil war going, because I feel like there's going to be a big war out here when, if the bank shut down and the food system shuts down, where people can't get or buy food because they don't have the mark of the beast or whatever, that's what people call it, or the chip, there's gonna be fights all over every state, because there's people that I ain't gonna want to put the ship on, that got children that are crying, that are hungry. They got to go out there and get their food, at all means. So you're gonna have your neighbor here that never had a problem in her life, that never picked up a gun maybe in her life, and said, you know what, my kids are starving. I gotta go get this food. She might pick up that gun just to go get her some food because it's chaos,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what I'm looking at what's coming after what these people are trying to do. You know, I see a little further than that, than what's happening, you know. Um, so that's the scary part, you know.
Yeah.
What are we going to do for food if you can't buy food? I mean, there's things we can do. We can go hunting and kill our own prey, you know, and but there's going to be so many people in the world that are going to go through this that they might not even have, you know, we might kill all the animals just to
Yeah.
survive.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's certain times of there's certain times of the year where you can go fishing because of the so much pollution in the water.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know when the red tide is going to be. So let's say, for instance, if the media system, the media has its uses. I'm not saying the media. We know that the media lies and it's not
Yeah.
perfect. But I'm there watching the TV when there's a hurricane coming away, or there's certain parts of the news that I do watch, with the red tide. And if if you go fishing the red tide and you don't know what it is, and you try to go out there fishing, and you catch fish and you bring it home, you can end up killing your whole family because the red tide is a bacteria that is very poisonous and can kill everybody. And there's plants out there that's poisonous. So there's a lot of things that we don't know. I mean, I don't know how to live off the land. I
Right.
mean, I've been fishing as a kid. I know how to fish. I can go out there and do it now, but I wouldn't recognize red tide. And there's certain fish, even in fresh water, that you shouldn't eat. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I don't, I've never been out hunting, for deer or rabbits or nothing like that.
Mhm.
If I had to, I would. I mean, I don't mind getting out there, and I mean, I used to walk in the woods out there in Lawrence. They had
Yeah.
woods out there in Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went to the White Mountains. I used to like going to the White Mountains and stuff like
Right.
that. So I mean, I would do what I have to feed the family. You know what I mean?
Right. Because you're going to go into
Grizzly Adam mode.
yes, you know, where it's either do or die. And you don't know what you're capable of doing until your back is against the wall, you know. And I always say when it comes to my family, I do whatever I need to do, and I'll cross whatever I need to cross to bring back food for my family. But at this point right now, what we need is unity. That I think we still have a chance to fight this if everybody sticks together and go to the White House and say, listen, we're not having it, we're not doing it. We're not, we're against the bank system. We don't want the currency, we want the money. Uh we might have a chance.
Yeah,
Just my opinion. I mean, because it's only five. It's 90% of us against 5% of them, or 10% of them. There's no way that again, we don't have the weapons, we don't have the military, but you know um we do have God, you know what I'm saying, and nothing stronger than God. So I think if things was to go wrong and God needed to step in, I believe he's going to step in.
yeah. I think that there's going to be a time where he's going to say enough is enough. Right now, we're on the 11th hour. We're living in the 11th hour. What I mean by that is a story in the Matthew chapter 20, and he's given his disciples a parable. And basically, I'll tell you the story really quick. It's it has 369. Just has Tesla, Nikolai Tesla, written all over it.
Yeah.
But it says that there was a husbandman who had a vineyard, and he sent. I'm going to paraphrase this. It's not going to be exact, but he
Okay.
basically sent someone to go find some laborers to work in his vineyard. So he goes and he doesn't say the time. He doesn't say the time. He just finds some laborers and he hires them for a penny. He says, "Hey, you want to work in my vineyard all day? I'll hire each and every one of you for a penny." And they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we'll do it." So then he says he goes about the third hour. That's the 3.
Mm.
And then he says, "Hey, what are you doing? Hanging around? You want to work in my vineyard for a penny?" And remember, he just hired the other guys earlier for a penny, but yeah,
Right.
he's hiring these guys at 3 on the third hour for a penny.
Right.
So they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll go work in your vineyard for a penny." So they go and they work the rest of the day for a penny. And then he says he does the same thing on the 6th and the 9th hour,
Mm.
369. Right? That's Tesla.
Right.
He was a reader of the Bible. Nikola Tesla, that car that people be driving,
Yes.
right? 369 is all over the Bible. I can show you lots of examples, lots of them. He was a Christian. I don't care what anybody said.
Right.
But anyways, 366 and 9th hour. So those guys are like, yeah, they agreed to work for the rest of the day for a penny. So
Mm.
the guys on the 3rd, the 6th, and 9th hour, they're all getting paid a penny. But yet the guys who worked, we don't know what time they started, which basically that story is basically from what I view are generations of time. He doesn't say from the beginning of time, from when man was created, that is the time when he hired that man for a penny. And then the 3rd hour is another generation of time. It could have been thousands of years back. We don't know, but that's what the 3rd hour represents. Is a fraction of time on the earth. You see what I'm saying?
Could it be 30, I don't know, 30
Right.
years
So,
ago, 60 years ago, and
yeah,
then 90 years ago?
could have been thousands of years ago, right? We
Right.
don't know. So
Right.
the 6th hour to the 9th hour, there's another set of men, right? So the 3rd hour is gone. Those generations are gone. So now we're in a new generation, and so Jesus is now in that generation, and he comes into the 9th hour, right? So the 6th hour guys are gone, and then
Right.
you have the 9th hour, right? And now
Right.
you have the 11th hour, and then he says he went about the 11th hour, right? So it's almost the end of the day,
Yeah.
the working day. So the 11th hour, he finds people hanging around, pays them a penny. They work the rest of the day, right? And it says, but when even came, it didn't say 12, it said even. So we don't even know if he comes at 12 midnight because he says that no one knows of God's coming. Jesus didn't even know. The angels don't even know when God's coming,
Right. Right.
right? So that's right now we're living in the 11th hour. That story is about us.
Mm.
We're working for a penny. That's why we have holes in our pockets. When you work and you go and you try to buy stuff, and it's like, you can't make ends meet. People are working paycheck to paycheck. For what?
For, and you're
It's
right.
all vanity. It's all vanity because God is going to arrive anyways. That's why, even in Revelations chapter 5, I think it is,
Mhm.
the elder tells John, he says, don't weep for the lion, the tribe of the lion. He says, don't weep, for the lion of the tribe of Judah hath prevailed to open the book and the seals thereof. That means that was the future. The book of Revelations is a time traveling story,
Mm.
meaning God already won. So those who have faith in Jesus ought to be happy that the future's been told to us. He's won.
Right.
This time that we're living now is we're suffering. A lot of Christians are suffering, and that's what Jesus pretty much said. He said, they're gonna hate you, but they hated me before they hated you.
Yeah.
It's hard to teach people about God when they don't want to read the Bible at all or
Right.
listen to it, and because we try to justify our own selves. We justify our own. We see ourselves as righteous. So that's why Jesus says if that that light that comes into us be darkness, how great is that darkness? So if you're justifying your light, but it's really dark, if you're justifying that, you know, there's nothing really I can say. Is I can tell you the word all day, but if you don't accept it, I have to shake the dust off my feet and go my way.
Right.
I can't. I'm not going to fight with you, but let it be known that the seed has been planted.
Right.
And God will do the watering. That's where a lot of Christians get in trouble, is that we get into these arguments and then we look bad. We make bad representation for God. And I'm not the greatest ambassador. Like I said, I've done messed up a lot in my life. And sometimes it comes back, those bad things that we've done, it comes back. But we always have to remember that, God is for us.
That's right.
Yeah. If he's for you, then who can be against you?
That's right.
So,
and you're right, because sometimes I catch myself going backwards. I catch myself going back to my time. When I was the old me, and I gotta catch myself and say that's no longer me. I'm with God now. I got baptized. And that's funny. Because Joe, the day I got baptized, my life changed, and I felt it. I felt something different in my soul, And I started doing the show, and I started meeting great people, and I started blooming, like great things started happening. I surrendered myself, to the Lord, and things that I would have done back then in a second, in a heartbeat. You would have said, "Vic, let's go do this. Let us go." I won't even think about it. Now I'll be like, "Whoa, wait." I might sit you down and say, "Wait a minute." We don't have to do that. It's not like I'm scared, but it's like now I got conscience. Like now I know that it's not a good thing to do. Like we can't do that unless we're going through like we're going now, where your back might be against the wall. You say, "Yo, cuz I ain't got nothing to eat. My kids are starving." I said, "Well, shit, let me suit up. Let's go." What is it that we need? Let's go get it. But because now it's not crime. Now it's survival. It's not like we're going out to commit a crime. We're going out to bring food to the table for the family, because we're not going to let them die, right? So I look at it different. If it's going to be a crime, I'm not with it. But if we got to go out there and break some doors down because we got to eat, my neighbors got to eat, the old lady down the street got to eat, we're going to go get some food for everybody.
And and that's I think that when if you ever get a chance, there's a book that I recently read. It's called The Adam and Eve Story. And I think that a lot of these movies that you see in Hollywood, like the Book of Eli with Denzel Washington.
Yes, I love that movie.
Yeah. Well, I'm just getting a water. Well, in that book is about if a bad cataclysm, he talks about a cataclysm that once wiped out the civilizations that were around on the earth about 12,000 years ago. And they know that there were civilizations that old because if you go to Turkey, there's two civilizations that existed, but they don't know who the people were. They left no written language. They left no books, no paper. All they did was like the cities are the temples or whatever they are. They're amazing. A place called Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe in Turkey, and they're pretty close to Mount Ararat, where Noah's Ark landed when the flood subsided.
Yeah.
And this place that places that I'm talking about, they're on that show on Netflix. It's called Ancient Apocalypse with Graham Hancock. right? But this place, the people that built the place, it's big. They only dug up like maybe 5% of it,
Mm.
and they know that the people themselves buried the city themselves because with dirt, like on a beach, like when the winds blow and it creates dunes, right?
Yeah.
Well, after so many years, you can see strata. It's basically like a line that goes from one end to the other, and the bottom line is the oldest dirt,
Right.
and then you have the middle line, right, which is another time era,
Time era. Right.
right,
Right.
and you have the top, which is the new one.
Right.
Well, the dirt from the top to the bottom, there is no strata.
Oh
So
wow.
that means that the people had buried the city throughout, and it's like the whole city was buried by hand.
Oh wow.
Like they were trying to wipe it off from memory. Like
Wow.
I don't know why the people did that. No one knows why. There is no history. They thought that the oldest civilization on Earth were the Sumerians, but if you look at the place, a lot of what they did, the Sumerians were in Iraq, in what they call Mesopotamia. But I don't like that word Mesopotamia. If I knew what the real word was for that area, that's what I would call it, because Mesopotamia is a European word. It means a land with two rivers, right? The Tigris and Euphrates. So that particular place, they call it the cradle of civilization. But there was a civilization older than the civilization that was there in Mesopotamia, and they don't even know what to call it.
Mm.
They don't know what to call the people. They don't know what language they spoke. In the Adam and Eve story, I kind of got a little bit offhand, but the Adam and Eve story basically tells that there was a polar flip, right? The axis, the north and the south, flipped, and when that and if that occurs, then the crust of the earth can move like an orange peel,
Mm.
right? So if the crust of the earth moved underneath the mantle, because the mantle could be liquidated, it can be softened, so the crust can move. So can you imagine the north and the south poles where there's ice and it moves to the equator? What would happen?
Shit, we already know if the plates move, we get an earthquake,
Yeah,
and
but
we
it,
get
but if they moved momentarily, like just moved, there's a book by Charles Hapgood. It's called Earth Shifting Crust. I want to get the book, but he talks about the Earth's crust shifting, like moving,
right.
just all of a sudden, causing chaotic earthquakes everywhere. And they believe that that's what could have happened long ago, 12,000 years ago. The Earth's crust shifted, the poles shifted, and when they shifted, the north and the south poles that are full of ice,
Mm-hmm.
the heat from because the wind moves at 1,000 miles per hour at the equator.
Right.
So when you have that wind going at that speed at very high temperatures, it will melt those ice caps and everyone will just die. And that's what that book, at the Adam and Eve story, the CIA looked at it. You can look at it. You could it's on it. It's something. There's a website called the Internet Archives where you can get certain books and you can read them. And I downloaded and I read it. The book is amazing. And
What's the name of the book?
it's called the Adam and Eve story. And you hear like Joe Rogan, those guys talking about it. Like there's so many ideas I have, like things that they're on the right track. Like I believe that we are all on the right track.
Right.
Right? We are all on the right track. Like the stuff that I study and all that, because I agree with them that the crust can shift in just any time. While we're sleeping, while we're playing basketball. Like think about it. They found woolly mammoths in Siberia that have berries still in its mouth. Trees that don't even exist up there.
Mm.
So how did a woolly mammoth get up there and there's no trees like that? That was because the Earth's temperature was different. It could have been the crust shifting. That like where they are now in Siberia could have been down where Puerto Rico is. Who knows?
Well, we do know that this country at one time was one piece,
Yeah, the
was
con
one
yeah, continent,
was
yeah.
one unit.
Yeah.
You know, in some way, somehow along earthquakes or whatever, you know, this country started to crack, and that's why we got islands and Africa over here, and you know, and we got all these different countries. But at one point, we was just one unit. What caused that? You know,
You know
what's
what?
right now, Africa. I don't know what part of, I don't know if it's by Ghana, but it's cracking. It's got a big crack. Africa has a big crack, and it's I don't know if it's going along the by the way the equator is, but it is cracking.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen that.
Right. And but no, you don't see it anywhere. Nobody talking about this.
There's a lot of things that's not talked about because, like I said, it's a lot of it is distraction.
It's
Only certain people are aware, and those certain people are the ones that are going to be the leaders. You know, because there's always in history, there's always been a handful of people that God set aside to lead people out of the wilderness because the people didn't know. You know, like a lot of us don't know how to
navigate.
navigate. And even in the book, that book Adam and Eve story, he said this uh by a sextant. A sextant is if you know those who don't know what that is basically it's kind of like a, it looks like a little telescope that you use to navigate the stars.
Yes.
That, and then he said buy a watch and a compass, a magnetic compass, because if the Earth's crust ever shifted,
Mhm.
right, and let's say
The north is south, and south is north, and it'll
yeah,
change.
but if the crust shifted, and let's say the United States and moves up more north, like around the other side of the Earth in an instant, then the stars that we're looking at, like when you go outside now and you look at the night sky, the stars that you're looking at right now is going to change if the Earth just if the Earth's crust shifts. You're going to be looking at another set of stars. That's why you need a sextant.
Mhm.
And then if the poles shift, right, then obviously the compass, the magnetic, the Earth's magnetic field is going to change and have an effect on your compass. So it's just gonna be. I mean, I see it going. I see it kind of going that way, honestly. And people aren't paying attention because of the those coronal mass ejections. They're dangerous.
Right. Right. And this is what the and these other things that we need to talk about to bring awareness to the people, because there's a lot of people that are still sleeping. And like I said, I'm not the smartest and brightest guy, right? But if I can see what's going on, then listen, everyone else can see it. And so the question here is, what are we going to do as the people to make this better, or to fight, because it's going to come.
Well, I, I have a theory.
Hmm.
If you go online and you go on to YouTube and you type in sounds of the earth, right? So when you go on YouTube and you put the volume up high, you can hear the earth and the sound and making a sound, and you can hear all the other planets making a sound,
Right.
and the sun making a sound. So we know the celestial bodies make sound.
Right.
And there's a guy, he's an ancient astronaut theorist. His name is Billy Carson. He's a very smart guy, very intelligent guy, and not everything that he says I agree with. But there's one thing that he said that I totally agreed with, and that I already knew because the Bible says that this is what's going on. The earth is speaking, right?
Hmm.
So when you hear that sound, right, the earth is speaking a language that we don't know, that we can't hear it or listen to it because our brains can only uh, synthesize certain frequencies, certain frequencies. So the planets and the stars are on a totally different frequency than we are.
Right.
It's kind of like bees and bears, and they can communicate with they communicate with certain frequencies.
Just
We
like
know
just
that
like just like the aliens, supposedly they're on a different frequency than we are.
yes, they're different frequencies. So the planets are on different frequencies, right?
Hmm.
So the Bible, and the Bible is the first book I think that even says that the earth speaks, because when Cain killed Abel, God went searching for Cain. He says, "What hast thou done?" He says, Cain says, "Where's our brother Abel?" He says, "Am I my brother's keeper?" And he says, "What hast thou done? Your brother's blood cries to me from the ground."
Mm.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So the earth, and then not only that, but Jesus himself, he's when he was going into the city, into Jerusalem, and they were saying, "Oh, David, Hosanna, the son of David," and the Pharisees didn't like it. Jesus says, "If these people didn't, you know, give me praise," he says, "then the stones will cry out." And sometimes I think he's referring to the planet itself,
Mm.
because the planet is made of stones.
Right.
Right?
It's clear. I'm
So
trying to tell you. You.
yeah, so he's throwing in a lot of secret shade at them. Like he doesn't like they don't understand what he's talking about. But
Right.
I kind of figured Jesus out a little bit. I mean,
Right.
it says his ways are past finding out. But anyways, if the earth can talk, oh, I can give you this. I'll do a presentation. As a matter of fact, when I get a chance, I'll do a presentation
Hmm.
that gives strong evidence that there is a language that the earth is speaking. I have it. I've already done it. It's in my computer. I've been working on certain stuff here and there. So um, the earth is speaking in a language and in a frequency that we can't hear nor understand. But I think that it records everything we do, and it says, because God told Moses, he says, he told him, he's in the wilderness. This is what God tells Moses in Deuteronomy. I think it's chapter 30. I forgot what verse. He says, "I have set as witnesses against you heaven and earth. I have set before you blessings and cursings, life and death." He says, "But choose life so that you and your children shall live." Right? So witnesses, heaven and earth. So earth is a witness against us.
Mm.
And it's recording up everything we're doing side to side, life and death. When we choose life and death, earth reports it to heaven. So it's like a cross, the cross of Jesus. Heaven and earth, life and death.
You got to do a presentation because
I'm telling you, man, the earth is
a lot of people really don't understand it. So you got to give them a presentation. I'll be in front row because you know me. I love listening to to what you have to say, and I
well,
definitely love stuff. You know,
well I study this because I want not I want people who don't believe in God, or people that have um
doubts or something.
are doubts, or the skeptics. As a matter of fact, on Instagram, I was recently contacted by somebody who told me that I should go to uh in Austin, Texas, where they have I guess a group of atheists, some kind of atheist organization, and they have a show where you go and you answer certain topics as to why you believe God is real. And I know why God is real. I mean, I just showed everybody the snake thing.
Hmm.
I mean, there's more I can show. The signs are there. They're definitely there. And Jesus spoke these things 2,000 years ago, and they're happening. So, I mean, but Jesus said, he says, they have eyes that can see but cannot see, and ears that they can hear with, but the ears are dull of hearing, because no matter how much evidence you have and proof, you can have proof that you can have the picture of the person sticking a hand in a cookie jar, and people
Yeah.
still not gonna believe it.
Yeah. They want more. They want more proof.
Yeah, that's just the
They're not
society we live in.
satisfied. They're not satisfied with what they see.
Yes.
It's amazing, you know. But I definitely want you to give a presentation. Maybe I want to bring you on the show, or however you're gonna do it, and we
Mhm.
can talk about it. Because I really think that people. I want you to open up people's eyes with what you know. You know, because it's a lot of us that are sleeping. Still sleeping, seeing what's going on around the world happening now, and they're still in doubt. So uh this is why I say that we need to speak up. We need to reach out to our people, because it's about humanity. It's not about race. Not no more. This we're in a space right now where it's either us or them. So we need to do something. We need to step up.
Yeah. And cuz you gave me an idea. What I think what I'll do is I made the video already. If I don't know if who's watching, but and I'll post it on your page. The video is called um The Son of Man Lifted Up. What do the Nazca lines in Peru have to do with prophecy?
Mm,
So basically, it's the vaccination stations for COVID. It's a Nazca line, not made of dirt, but made of light energy,
mm.
and it's
Yeah,
in the
post it
form of
up.
a snake.
Post it up. Post it up on my page. It's my page
Yeah,
for. Post
yeah,
up. I got the Don Vic Show group too. You can post it up there. I got
yeah,
certain pages where you can post up all your videos and stuff. People can see it. You know,
yep,
but definitely want a live presentation. We can talk about that and see how we're gonna set it up. We'll do like a test run, make sure everything is working, everything whatever you present is clear where people can see, um, and we'll give them a show.
yeah, yeah.
You
That
know,
would be nice. I might do a Facebook Live tomorrow after work.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you got
well,
you got the equipment, cuz.
yeah, maybe Sunday after work. Maybe Sunday after church. Maybe Sunday after church because I work tomorrow and I'm going to be working late. So,
Yeah, 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 yeah. So man, thank you for coming on, man, and giving
oh,
us
yeah.
schooling us on what you know. Appreciate
Yeah.
that, cuz I love you.
Yeah. I love you too, man. I know it's a lot. I don't know, man. I just been going through a lot with school and
Yeah,
work and, you know,
yeah,
and trying to build all this material to give glory to God. None of this is of me and none of the stuff that I got is from me.
yeah,
It's from above, and all I am is just a vessel. And I try to do my best to be a good vessel and to try to be good to people. And all I can say is, it's our choice whether to believe or not. I mean, God gives us free will. If people don't want to believe, they don't have to believe. They don't even have to watch any of the material. I mean, there are people that believe, and the stuff that I tell them, they're like, they don't want to know about it. I'm like, how can you be a Christian and not want to know about when the Lord is
yeah,
going to come? He
yeah,
says, "Blessed are they that hear and read the words of this prophecy." He's talking about Revelations chapter 1, and there are people that absolutely want to live in darkness, and ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is dangerous.
yeah.
Ignorance is dangerous. It's dangerous because
Yes.
you know what can you say? It's just dumb. It's like you want to see the manhole cover that you're about to ready to step in. You want somebody to come and say, "Hey, you know, don't step in that manhole. You're gonna break your neck. You're gonna fall and die." Right? So there's things that are coming in the future that people can't see. It's like a black hole. That's like what a black hole. It's like a manhole.
Right.
You step in it, you're never gonna come out of it. That light is gonna stay down in that black tunnel.
Right.
So
And that's another thing we'll talk about next time, about the black holes and the things that are happening and in the air that we don't see and people don't really believe. in black holes and what might be on the other side? Is it a wormhole? Is there something else on that side? Like we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know.
You know,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to become spirits to be able to go out there and find out. Say, your
Yeah.
cousin, let's fly up there and see what the hell's in that black hole.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. But last thing, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
Remember, I told you about how light travels like this in squiggly lines.
Yes.
Okay, these are electric field going up and down, and then side to side is the magnetic field.
Right.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but when you're watching a football game, the players they move side to side, and the ball gets thrown up and down.
You read the are you reading the comments?
Huh?
Can you read the comments?
Yeah. Well, I actually, since we've been talking, I really haven't been paying attention to.
Okay, I'm just
I'm
asking.
sorry. I just been kind of just like,
You was in your you was
yeah,
focusing
like
on what you had to say.
I get in the flow, and it's like, my fault if I didn't get to read your comments or anything. I'll try to. If you ask the question, I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. Maybe if not tonight, then tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what page do you have where people can follow you?
Well, I don't have. Oh, you're talking about Facebook page or YouTube?
Yeah. So how you gonna do your presentation on what page on what platform?
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to friend request me, you can friend. I'm gonna do it on my Facebook page. I might just get up in the morning and do it before I go to work. But if you want to see the video that I created, I created 2 videos. Actually, I have 3. Um, 4. I think I got 4. It's my page is Coldell143 in YouTube. It's COALDEL 143. And what that stands for is Control Alt Delete, like you're on your computer, how you reprogram your computer.
Yeah.
So Control Alt Delete. So you control your thoughts, you alternate toward positive thought habits, and then you delete the past. You take those 3, equal it out, it unlocks your potential.
And
And
it's
you're
funny
blessed.
because mine says Victor Santiago 436.
Yeah. And then the 143 stands for I love you. So for me, that was Jesus Christ on the Mount of Olives giving his Sermon on the Mount, because what he
Amen.
was doing is that he was helping to reboot the people's minds. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they should be full. Blessed are the meek, for they shall be, so they shall inherit the earth. Like
Yeah.
when he's giving that whole sermon, listen to the whole sermon, because some of that stuff that he's telling in the sermon, he's also teaching physics, and I know it sounds strange, but like what you read out of the Bible and what others read out of the Bible, we all get something different.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm paying attention because Jesus says himself that he is from above and we are from beneath.
Right.
So it's kind of like he knows how everything works.
Of course, he's watching.
Huh?
He's watching from
Yeah,
above. He sees
we're being
everything.
watched. We're being watched. That's why we emit heat. That's why we emit radiation. Something is watching us.
Right.
They can see us from up above. So it's like, how like when you're in outer space, okay, when you see pictures of satellites in outer space and they can see the cities, the lights in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if the earth was completely dark, animals that can see in infrared
Yeah, in
would be
dark.
able to
Yeah.
see us. So something up there is watching us. They
Right.
can see our light emitting.
Mm.
I'm telling you, bro, and even Nebuchadnezzar says in Daniel, Nebuchadnezzar, and in Jeremiah, there's a scripture in Daniel, and there's a scripture in Jeremiah where it talks about watchers. By the decree of the watchers, not God,
The
the
watchers.
watchers,
Yeah, that's a whole nother. I know you told me about the watches. That's why the clock got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's watchers in every hour watching and reporting to God what we're doing.
Yeah, it's like Facebook. It's like a
Mhm.
prophecy for Facebook because it doesn't describe their faces, but yet everything that they're reporting is being written in a book that we
Mhm.
can't see.
Right, like data.
Yeah.
Cuz put it together, man. Let's make it happen, and we'll bring you on the show and we'll
All right.
talk about it, and maybe help educate some of the people that don't know about this, and bring maybe a light to them.
Amen, cuz.
So thanks, cuz, for coming on, man. I love you always.
Love you too, but love you too, guys. You guys stay safe out there.
Yes, sir.
I'll keep you guys in my prayers.
Always.
All right, man.
Peace.
God bless you.
Wise.
All
Peace.
right.
That's my cousin. That's my cousin Joseph Aker. Love him. That's I'm telling you that boy's a scientist right there. Okay. So it was nice having him here. He, kind of uh spoke a little bit about Jesus and how the world works. And I like it because he get into it, and I get stuck when he start talking. I just sit there and listen, and start. My mind start to wander. Want to shout out AV Claim that was it's in the building, came up, show some love. Thank you, RV for tapping in. My man T Bone, you already know the vibes. I gotta bring T Bone on the show. I got a guest coming on tomorrow night, 7 p.m. He's an actor of Western and horror, and he used to be a wrestler for NWA wrestling company. Now he's a actor and a horror uh, film filmmaker. So by the name of Donnie Brown, he'll be on the show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Make sure you tune in. And at 8 o'clock, you can tune in to my brother Avi's show, TKN, with my girl Julie. She's amazing. You guys can watch that. It's a debate that he be having on there with all types of celebrities that come on the show, and it's a great show to watch because you guys battle it out. He give them different topics and they talk about it, and whichever one comes up with the best topic or the best answer to the topic, then we get to choose, and whoever wins then wins. They go on to the next round. A trip to I don't know where it's in Hawaii with some money, and tune in. Just tune in, see my man Avi in action, and the guests that we have, and you see all types of celebrity and all type of people on the show. Great guy. I haven't met him personally. Maybe someday I can get to meet him. Definitely met Julie. Julie's an amazing woman. Met her out in Las Vegas for the movie Desert Fiend. We both were in the same movie, and that's where I met her. And we clicked right away. It was like we was meant to meet that day. Our conversation was like, it was brief. It was like real short, but it felt like I known her for years, and she and like vice versa. Sometimes God puts people in places to connect, and you don't even have to have a long conversation. Just the vibe and the energy between two people. If it clicks, it clicks, and that's what happened with me and Julie. We clicked right away. Gave her my card, and I said, "Hey, I just want to do whatever." Boom, 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 and we're still friends till today. She got the show with Avi, and and it's a great show. TKN. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. and watch the show because it's amazing. Yes, yes. So, guys, I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. You guys been great, T-Bone. I'm gonna send you up some. I'm gonna send you dates. I was supposed to leave town this weekend. I'm not going. They rescheduled it for another time. So I have tomorrow and Sunday open. If you want to come on the show, we can talk. You let me know, and we'll schedule you in. I have another person coming in, a stuntman. He's a stuntman, an actor. That I'm waiting for confirmation. I believe he's coming on Saturday as well. So once she confirms, I'll let you guys know who the person is. I'll put up the flyer, and I might have 2 people for tomorrow, depending on what T-Bone is doing. Maybe 3 tomorrow, maybe 1 on Sunday. Who knows? But make sure you guys tune in. Show the love. Remember to share, and sharing is caring. I love everyone that tunes in on the show, YouTube and Power Post Network. Thank you guys. Big shout out to all my paranormal investigators around the world. You guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. And my YouTube followers, thank you so much for following. Remember to share because sharing is caring. And thank you so much for the love and support. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. with actor Donnie Brown at 7 p.m. So make sure you guys tune in and show the love. All right. With that being said, I'm going to let y'all go with peace, love, respect, and I'm out of here.